Hello, everybody. My name is Hyperfocus. I'm currently and have been consistently the highest level player in POLYZ RNG Zombies on Roblox. I started playing this game back in July of 2025, and I have been a QA tester since September of 2025. So, there has been much debate around what the best weapons actually are. Today, I'll explain the top 5 weapons for zombie hordes and top 5 for bosses rooted strictly in facts. I'll also explain how guns have an impact from early to late game, as well as some edge case uses. Now, let's start with some details prior to that. So, things like rarity, mastery level, and pet damage bonus all significantly affect and impact guns over time, and will create vast differences to their DPSs. So, DPS, of course, is damage per second. Through DPS, even though that can be important, it is not a catch-all. Its primary importance exists with bosses and in early to mid game where a player has little extra damage. I do highly advise that you make sure to test your weapons frequently, as your best weapon for zombies will change over time. Your best weapon will be your highest rarity weapon and highest fire rate weapon of whichever that will still insta-kill. Now, to increase your DPS, or damage per second, I highly recommend equipping both fast cycling attachments, which unlock at level 10, and overpressure attachment that unlocks at level 25. Now, the fast cycling attachments are stackable, and it's a 15% increase on each one to the base damage. So first 15% increase goes on base damage, and the second 15% increase goes on 15%, the previous 15% of the base damage applied. And then the overpressure attachment unlocks at level 25, will apply 25% damage boost to either your base stat or combined masteries for the base stat. Masteries are not that great to focus on until at least judgment difficulty, so make sure to equip these attachments in your weapons as soon as possible. Now, I want to break this down between early game and mid to late game. So for early game, it is important to prioritize mag, as ammo is quite scarce for a while. Cash bonus is not really there with it. So 4 guns with high base mag are the PKM, RPK, M249, and the Tommy gun. Ideally, you want to have the Tommy as it has the highest DPS of the 4, though any of these are great options for when you're struggling with ammo. It means less reloads and less cash spent. That also means easier time opening your doors and buying perks. Now, DPS is very important at this stage, and while that is true, you want to have a weapon that fires decently fast but still has great DPS. Shotguns and snipers are high damage but have low base mag capacity, and generally lower fire rate overall. While Tommy has the highest DPS of the 4 that I mentioned, the PKM does do piercing damage and has the highest base damage of any decently fast firing weapon with a fire rate of 400. That pretty much covers early game. Anyway, I'd say pretty much early to mid game, somewhere in that range. It's going mid to late game, so we'll go from here now. So going mid to late game, once you're getting to mid game and going past there, you'll start to pick up mastery levels, which will help greatly for transitioning into higher difficulties past Ragnarok mode. So from here on out, DPS is going to start to matter less. Well, the reason why that matters less is because as damage increases over time, it's going to become your better fire rate weapons will start to become the best weapons over time. So now I'll explain the top 5 weapons for fire rate and top 5 weapons for boss killing, which are mainly going to be DPS weapons. So the best boss weapons don't change at all regardless of where you are in the game. Now, the top 5 fire rate weapons in order are Vector, Tommy, MPX, HK416, and the MAC-10. Now, the HK416 and MAC-10 have the same fire rate of 800. So the range of the HK416 makes it a bit superior. Now, it is also better for straight line shooting, but does fall short for big horde clearing, which is where most of the faster fire rates come in handy. Like Vector has a base fire rate of 875, Tommy has 850. Now if mag bonus is still very low / more of importance to you, then Tommy is your best bet if you have enough damage to at least insta-kill with a MAC-10. Now we get to the top 5 best DPS weapons for bosses. These are Beleni, M870, Zaps 12, Saint, and Dragunov. While Beleni and M870 are tied for highest DPS weapon, it's better to use Beleni due to its faster fire rate, and thus generally easier time dealing with zombies while being mixed in with the boss. Now it's important to note that shotguns shoot 6 pellets, so it may be better to go for one of the others in the top 5 if you feel you cannot consistently hit with all 6 pellets into the boss's head. And yes, headshots are going to kill the boss the fastest. Now something you want to look for with headshots is when you see the damage numbers turning yellow, that means they're headshots. They're like a yellowish orange. Now if they're white, that means you're not hitting him in the head. And there is a rather small hitbox there, so you have to make sure you're aiming somewhere around the lower middle section of the head. Anyway, the top 5 boss weapons, except for the Saint, are generally not that great for longer term horde clearing. So with that in mind, the top 5 DPS weapons for zombies are Saint, FAL, HK416, FAMAS, and M4A1. So now I'll mention the 2 worst weapons for each. So the worst weapon for zombies is the AWM due to its extremely low fire rate of just 35. And the worst weapon for bosses is the M4A1S. This is due to having the lowest DPS of any weapon in the game out of all 35 weapons. Now with all that out of the way, I do still strongly encourage you all to use and become acquainted with every weapon in the game, as masteries are best done by getting 30 to 35 weapons done each game. And make sure you are playing in 2 to 4 player games whenever possible, as co-op is significantly better than solo. There is also a Discord server for this game. Please feel free to come and join and ask for any help as needed. There are now over 500 members here, and always someone willing to help here. It is linked in the Roblox page. When you go to the community section, you'll be able to find it there. I'll also include a link under this video here, so you can just click it and get an invite to the server. Anyway, that's all for now covering in today's video, and I hope this information is helpful. Now I will put up an information panel that shows the standard DPS of weapons as well as the base fire rate of weapons.